Ronit, welcome back to F.A.C.E, my friend, my Twitter friend. I've unmuted you. How are you? There were two of you. I hope I did the right one. You registered twice. I guess I could also do the other one. Can you try your
promote
mic?
the other one as well, and we see which one is.
Okay. Let's see. So here's another one. So now there's, okay. Why don't you talk, Ronit? Okay, here's your second one.
I'm there.
Try it now. Hi, Ronit.
Hi, how are you?
Okay, welcome back to F.A.C.E, my friend. How are you? How are things in India with everything that's going on? And oh, cool, you brought this kind of stuff. You know, I was after your charts, I was going to give you a chance to talk about your strong conviction and belief about how much of the unseen, invisible world originated in your country, in India. And I mean, there were even stories about how Jesus traveled to India. Maybe you learned a few tricks from your civilization. So go ahead and tell us what you have here.
So there is speculation that Jesus did travel to India, to Calicut, but I don't know. There is no evidence to it. So
yeah,
we are just speculating. But
okay, so then
the trade route was phenomenal during Roman days, and India used to actually export a lot of spices.
Right.
And that's how they got the gold. So, it was all about
too, right?
capital moving.
Silk Road.
Yeah, that's right. So through Egypt, and they used to do a lot of trade. And there was a time when they said that Indians receive demonetized gold. So in the coastal areas, people actually got less gold, but still they accepted it. So that's how the gold rich country, because we didn't have too many mines. So we traded a lot.
Okay.
So let's begin with something called cycles. So everybody talks about 666, right?
Yeah.
So it's nothing but 6 cube. So 1 minute. So 6 cube is 216. And you divide it by 2, you get 108. 108 is a sacred number in India and across the world. And that's how you get that 864. So 216 is into 4 is 864. So that's why people actually say, it's a Armstrong cycle. But the Hindu calendar actually uses a lot of these cycles. We call it yugas. So let's see how the time is divided. So this is the smallest unit of time. It's called 1 nimisha, and it's 0.01777 seconds. So that's how the hierarchy is. So you can actually see how many human years, what's a solar year, and what's the highest, 1 day of Brahma. So we can't even actually expand it. So Brahma's life is something like, Brahma is supposed to be the creator of life on earth. So 100 years, which is 36 years. So let's move down. So I just wanted to start with it. So this is how people actually say astrology works in everything. So it's a combination, a right kind of operation. So this is, I think our Greek friends will know. It's called Antikythera. Antikythera. So it's 1 minute. So let me.
I think Stephen Stelios had one of those in their house.
No, I don't think
Steve
it's
Steve
easy to
uses
make
it to grind espresso.
Or maybe coffee. Do they drink coffee in Greek?
What an interesting coffee maker, buddy.
I wonder where they pour the coffee beans from.
What's
How do
that
you
used
rotate
for?
it?
So
Huh?
that's used for spotting
It's
the
some kind
planet?
of ancient powered astronomy to check planetary actions.
Okay.
So no one knows exactly why it was found there, who built it. So it was found. You can actually look up. So let's get down to business. This is again the cycles. 100 years of Brahma is one time, and you can actually see the hierarchy. One Kali Yuga is equal to 4,32,000 years.
Mhm.
So we can't even imagine. So the time is actually, in Indian standard, actually, each hour is something like 24 minutes. And we counted like 2 hours is 48 minutes, which is one muhurtam. So that's how people actually say it's auspicious time or not. So you can actually see here, 2 Nadika is equal to 1 month. So that's how time was broken down. Even W.D. Gann actually traveled to India. So that's how he actually discovered maybe.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's
again,
right.
we don't know.
Yeah.
So that's why he said time is the most important factor, just like Nikola Tesla.
Okay. Interesting.
So let's get on to charts. So this is the Dow chart. Now let me expand it. So how I actually knew it could be a huge top was from this. So what I did is I drew channels, and I connected 1974 bottom, December, and 1987 bottom. So I expanded it. So you can actually see 158, 161. That was the GFC one. And the 29,400 or 29,500 was the high. And it timed with Feb 2020. So it says that it could actually go till there. You know, it could expand till September 2021 when things don't get resolved. So I was very surprised that they locked down the whole world. So this is again the famous 2020 W.D. Gann financial table. So you can actually see over there 2020F, which is the year of the
F
panic.
stand for? Panic? F is
Panic.
panic?
Yeah, F is panic.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
So even previous years, you can see 2001, that was a panic.
Yeah.
So maybe W.D. Gann was a genius to pick this. So this is again the Dow. Now the most important thing about this Dow is what is the price of gold? Okay, you can see over there in 1980, maybe you're trading at that time. So
Yeah.
800 Dow was equal to close to $800 an ounce.
Yeah.
So if that has to happen, then the top of 1987 should be the Dow value, or we have to see how it goes. So we don't know yet.
Yeah, you know, I forgot that they, I remember working out in LA back then, and people had a bet that gold would surpass the Dow. And I remember that was 79 is when it happened. So, and thank you for a trip down memory lane. Forgot all about that.
Yeah. So you can
Most
see the
people,
channel in
modern
1937.
traders, would never believe that the Dow and gold were the same price. Maybe it's going to happen again here, huh, Ronit?
It depends on what price.
Yeah.
So that's how I linked. If the channel doesn't come down, what should be the price of gold? $15,000? Or the next channel, which is around 1987, that's around 10,000. It's just a question of where do they meet. So we'll see that. So it's all about confidence. Where does it break? So let's go on to the next chart. So this is actually a Dow gold ratio. 1 minute. So how I figured it out that gold will start outperforming. Can you see it clearly?
Yes.
So what is the ratio? So it's around 18.81. So if the Dow has to hit something like 10.74, what should be the price of gold? So if Dow hits 10,000, maybe gold value should be somewhere around 1,200 or 1,100. It's a combination. What comes first? But clearly we can see that in the Dow is actually underperforming gold. It actually took off in 2013, and after Trump was elected, again it started underperforming. So let's look at the next chart. So this is, so everybody keeps saying that dollar and Dow could go both up. So it's not necessary. So correlations work sometimes, they don't work sometimes. So we can actually see that though the dollar didn't underperform or outperform, the Dow actually broke everything. So the minute gold and DXY actually started rallying up or strengthening up, that's when all these things, all world markets start breaking down. So let's say if they contain DXY at 100, maybe. So the breakout for the Dow again will be 25,500. And if they are not able to do it, so maybe we are looking at much lower level in the Dow as DXY actually starts outperforming. So this is again the Dow DXY. Okay, this is very interesting. So gold and DXY. So it's forming a wedge, and this could be bearish, and we have to see what underperforms. So 100 DXY is very critical. So if actually both start going up, we have to see what price. So if 1840 gold and USD has not surpassed 100, then it could be a possible top. So, but if actually DXY actually hits say 110, gold could be 1960 or something like that. But on the but again in this chart we can actually see gold is outperforming dollar in percentage terms.
Yeah.
So let's look.
And you're kind of a super bull on the dollar, aren't you?
Yeah, we actually will see why. So let's look at this chart. Can you see this chart?
Yeah.
This dollar.
Right.
So it's a cup and handle. So so can you tell me how many points it can move if it moves 100?
You're
So
the one
50%.
being interviewed.
That's 50%.
Okay.
So if it hits 150 in a hurry, so other currencies actually fall 50%.
Wow.
In a hurry. So the impetus was there in Jan 2020. What led to that impetus, I'll explain further. So everything started in April 2019. So this is a very critical chart. So this is another correlation which broke. This is nothing but Dow divided by crude oil. So it was not supposed to break out, but it did. And that's the reason there was a huge panic. So it has never outperformed. So let's look at, this is a chart of Dow and copper, right?
Dow and copper.
So it's still not broken down, copper.
Okay.
So that if it does something like that, like crude, we could expect a very lethal move. Something like crude.
You mean copper going to like, a buck?
One, yeah.
Okay.
We'll see that further. And it could be very quickly.
I've seen that before. I've seen 60-cent copper. 50.
Maybe maybe it will go to negative. These days, everything goes
Oh
going
yeah,
to
that
negative.
yeah, unprecedented.
So let's look at this. So this is very, very interesting. 1 minute. My mouse is moving quite fast. 1 minute. So this is NASDAQ and gold ratio. So you can see the cycle. March 1990 to November 1990. That's when it started moving. That means gold underperformed and NASDAQ stocks outperformed. That was the time when globalization started.
Right.
So more dollars flooded the world. And we saw the same thing in 2009, 2010. Again, more dollars. So it could be a cycle. So maybe NASDAQ underperforms gold.
Yeah,
Purely
failing
possible.
rally, just a retrace of the last decline.
But the cycle could be very painful. So let's say it started around 2018, trade wars.
Yeah.
It could be something like 10 years, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
So let's look at it. Another cycle. This is again the semi-log cycle. So you can actually see if 4.66 breaks, then you can actually hurry down further. Gold need not move. So let's look at next cycle. This is NASDAQ, only NASDAQ. So it actually topped out just on the same fan. So around 9,200. So if it has to crack, somewhere around 6,000 is the pressure point. So this is a combination. Next chart is very interesting. So everybody talks about Amazon, Google, Microsoft.
Yeah.
It's a combined index of that.
The fangs.
The big four. I
Okay.
didn't add Facebook. So
Okay.
this is the highest market cap values. So Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google. So they're also forming a wedge. So they're about to break a wedge, but it could happen again. So we need to watch out all these four stocks together. So let's look at the next cycle. This is nothing but Dow divided by NASDAQ. This tells you that NASDAQ has been outperforming. It's close to the 2000 highs. So if it has to underperform, if Dow starts falling apart, NASDAQ will underperform even faster. So
Okay.
what really happened in April 2019? So you're able to see my screen?
Yep. Global gold reserve holdings.
Yes. So everything started in April 2019. So maybe someone actually dumped and bought gold. So we'll see it in our further figures. So that was when I was trying to explain in my last interview that the debt divided by gold, gold has to rise from here. This is fundamental, but that's technical. So we'll see that. So this is one more skyscraper curse. So the Jeddah Tower, which was actually started in April 2013, it's almost completed, but they stopped it right on the trade war. And they might reopen 2 years later. So we can see other financial crises, the Burj Khalifa, the dot-com bubble. So this was very interesting. The Great Depression was one of the most unique. There were 3 towers in between. So it tells you that possibly stagflation is there. So let's look at this chart.
The Tower of Babel.
It could be. So that's there in every religion, actually. So not just, whenever you get rich, the credit cycle starts when somebody finishes a building. So we don't know yet. So this is actually Tadiwal's Saudi Arabia index. So if you actually see what really happened in 2014, they started losing money. And you can see May 2019, that's when it started turning down. So it could be possible that Russia and Saudi are together in this. We don't know. So everything started in April 2019. So this is again the index of log. This could mean that oil is actually going to be in a bear market for the next 25 years. We don't know yet, but an interesting thing happened actually. So Saudi was created in 1933, right when the Great Depression bottomed. So if you add 86 to it, it comes to around 86.4. It comes to around December 2019. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
So they actually sold at the peak. So this is the most interesting. So if dollar has to go up, that means Saudis will lose more money, and it could mean that it could go down to something like 1985, 86 less. So this is a cup and handle. So you can see how deep it can get. Either the dollar goes very high or the Saudi index will goes down. This is again the oil. I think that this was a computer model which actually created that minus 40. So if you actually draw a parallel channel, you can actually get 40. So this is where someone knew that Iran tensions and the Gulf were happening. And then the story was cooked up exactly at 50. So this broke down and the dollar spiked at the same time. So what is the connection? What is the real story? We don't know. But it's again a cycle. You can actually see the mini cycles. So there's a peak, there's a trough, there's a peak. It goes on. And this could be a bottom somewhere around September 2020. Though the chart shows negative values, but you have to consider the cycle. So let's move on to the next one. So history of US short squeezes. So someone was talking about euro dollar system. So 80 billion was outside the US, and in the year 2000 it was around 3 billion. Now till 2015 it's 9 trillion. Maybe it's double. So this is again one more interesting. Kuwaitian dinar, for the first time it is broken out. That means their currency is depreciating. So USD Kuwaitian dirham. So look at the cycle. 2008, 2014, maybe it's going to go higher. And it just spiked. So no one thought it could happen. So let's move on to the next one. So this is a cycle of Kuwaitian dirham. Can you see it clearly?
Yes.
So 2008, 2014, and I don't think the dollar is bottomed out. So it could go much higher till 2022 or 2025. So this is the Jeddah Tower 2013. You can see over there, April 2019, 9 years, it'll be open in 2022. Maybe God had different plans. And the best part is, this is 1,000 meters. 3280 or 3.28 is considered as a qubit. So time and price and sentiment meet at a point. So this is again Saudi Arabia, 2014. As the dollar appreciated, their reserves went down. So maybe after 2021 till 2025, it could go down even further. That's why they're borrowing. So this is again one more interesting. IMF paper was actually written in April 2019, enabling negative interest rates. So this is how gold spiked on the same day. You can actually check the dates. It was around 1278 or something on the dollar. I mean gold.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on to the next one. November 2000. So everybody says coronavirus was the reason for market meltdown. Maybe they actually introduced the coronavirus to hide something else. So November 2018, designing central bank digital currencies. So let's look at the next one. So nothing happens by accident. So Christina Lagarde you can actually see May 2019, she actually said that we need 12 months to actually bring digital currencies online. So they know that euro and other currencies are in trouble. So, and I would say that Zoom Communication, they had an IPO on the same month, April, May 2019. And it was $60 in December 2019. Now it's something like 160, 180. So this is the euro big picture. So 0.6 was in 1985. So it went all the way till 1.6.
Right.
So that's the reason 1.085 is being protected. So if that melts down, maybe it's the end of euro. So you can actually see this looks like a cup and handle. We don't know yet, but a waterfall decline could be possible. That's why dollar is not spiking above 100, or maybe somewhere doesn't want it to. So let's move on to the next one. So this is Dow divided by Saudi Arab index. So this also again tells you that Saudi Arab is in trouble. This is again a cycle. You can see it. 1992, 1999, 2000. Maybe we skipped a cycle. So it tells you 2026. Saudi index or the oil market could be in trouble. This is again
interest rates.
DXY divided by Saudi index.
Okay.
So what does it tell you? Dollar is going to surge, irrespective of what happens. Okay, it's almost on the breakout.
Okay.
So let's move on to the next one.
I have a question. Jane would like to know if you have a question for chart for Bitcoin.
As long as it holds 7,200, it's fine. But something goes wrong, the dollar is the Bitcoin.
And Nareej Jane is saying, please see IOC and Larson Indian stock chart. Do you know what that is?
No, Larson, I don't know, but I'll be happy to help them. If they can tweet me, I'll actually help them out. So let's directly go to the gold values. What could possibly go wrong in May? So if it breaks 1672, it could retest 1270 or 1150 again. Maybe they want everyone to liquidate. But if it stays more above 1700, so you can actually see it's a cup and handle again on the top. So that's $1,000 move. So the pressure point is around 1803. So it goes further. The scenario is different. But if it goes down to 1279, don't panic. It'll come back again. It's just a shakeout.
Okay. So we're starting to run out of time, but go ahead. And what I'd like is, say for example, you had a fresh 100K right now. What would you be doing? Would you just be sitting in cash and buying gold? What kind of, if you're not a trader, are there any investment type positions that you would put new money to work in with what's happening today?
I would avoid any investment till 2021. But because there is, in astrology, they call it a Kal Sarpyog, which actually could be for the next 18 months. So you need cash, maybe 30% is good enough. Gold to protect that cash. And you should look for emerging things into 2025. It could be technology, but you have to survive this. So
so it's a capital preservation phase, the return of capital, not return on capital.
Maybe return of equity is not, return on equity is avoidable. Return on equity is more important, because this period which started for whatever reason, everybody keeps saying that 18 months in our astrology thing, it's actually a bad time for the whole world, means capital destruction. So whatever you have, I think dollar will do fine unless they do something else. And this could be a war cycle also. So let me explain. 1914, you keep adding 26 to it. 1940, World War I. 1966, again there was a turmoil. 1992, Kuwait War, there was a disturbance. 2018, trade war. Let's go back. 1914 minus 26, 1888. What happened in 1862?
Your Civil War.
Yes. Let's go back. 1810, Napoleonic Wars. So this period is such that
1812 too in the U.S.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are periods when people get, desperate to divert attention. The funny part is that India could be actually be getting into a big conflict with Pakistan. So let's look at 1971 plus 27. You add another 27, it comes to around 2025. So 2022, 2025, it's possible. You subtract minus 9 from it. 2016, we actually had a big conflict with Pakistan.
Yeah.
And it all rotates around that one belt, one road and the Gwadar port. So it's economic reason. And this whole coronavirus, why they're actually looking with 5G, it could be because of IP rights.
Because of what?
IP rights, intellectual property.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason Wuhan was the center for 5G too. They arrested Huawei's president's daughter, right? Or CEO's daughter. Just exactly around December 2018. And this whole 5G was all about that. So maybe US doesn't want to be left behind. And I was reading an article where China is actually getting very aggressive with China wants possible armed conflict. So this is all about control. So that's why I said you got to watch. Have some gold, have some silver, look for food, clean food. When the tide is over, I think you'll get better opportunities. So I'll pass on this document and anybody can actually look at it since we are run out of time. So everything is a cycle. So watch out for 1700 gold for any clue. So last thing I'd like to finish, Dow gold ratio. This was around 5.7, 5.8. This is around 23.8. So that comes to around 17. The breaking point is around 18. So this is seen across all indices. It's not just one index. It all started together. So watch out for the currencies. They're not going to stop at 5-10%. So once the dollar goes through, you can actually see in this one, this is nothing but Hang Seng divided by gold. Maybe their peg will break soon.
Yeah.
So all pegs will break at some point. So this could be it. This could be a confluence point.
Yeah, what a great presentation, both telescopic and also very holistic with all the different, intermarket related charts. Thank you for your, the hard work and the great PowerPoint presentation today, Ronit, of very interesting ideas and kind of sounding the warning bell for people to be conservative. So we appreciate you coming here and edifying the community, Ronit.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you for it. This one last chart, you can look at it. This is dollar into gold. It's rising together. Mm-hmm. So with that, play safe. This is not a normal market. Standard deviation models are breaking.
Okay, and the best place to reach you and follow you, Ronit, Ronit's in my Twitter stream. Ronit's Twitter handle is @Ronit, RONIT 9Q. And that's probably the only place to follow you, right?
That's right.
Okay, so Ronit does a lot of tweeting of his ideas. If you like what you saw here, you're going to get more of it on Twitter at Ronit9, number 9Q. Thank you, partner. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Dale. Thanks
All
for
right,
having me.
good hunting. Enjoyed it. Okay, everyone, that's going to be a wrap for today. See everyone tomorrow. Good hunting. And remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Adios.